Well, well, well. Hello and welcome back to Bits and Bobs. I'm your host, Miranda Cosgrove, and I actually do cuss a little. And I'm about to cuss a whole lot more because I just realized I wasn't recording. Yeah, I'd recorded the visual footage. I had not done the one thing that you kind of are supposed to do for a podcast and recorded audio. So that's really cool. That's really fun. And I'm sorry, I'm going to bring it up. It is the temperature of hell. And the UK, it would be fine, but the UK does not know what air conditioning is. We don't understand what AC is, and I don't understand why we don't understand what that is. Especially in apartment buildings. If you were in a high rise, it should be illegal not to have AC in your building because of how hot it gets. And I'm just not going to drop 300 G's. Okay, that was excessive. $300 on an air conditioning unit. I'm not doing it, except for I am, because if I don't, I will have to move, and I enjoy the lovely rent of rate I pay here. Okie dokie, let's try this again. So we've got a few bits and bobs on the agenda. We're going to start with Coke Wars. I'm not talking about that kind of Coke, you sick freaks, okay? I am talking about cola. If you were unfamiliar with what the cola wars are, excuse me, I feel like my mic is away from me. If you're not familiar with what the cola wars are, go and watch this documentary that I cannot remember the name of, so this is not a massive amount of help, but I think it's called something like Pepsi Plane or something. But if you Google that, you'll find it. And it's basically about the cola kind of marketing wars between Pepsi and Coke in the 80s and 90s. Really, really fun, really interesting. I will always be a Pepsi girl. Have been for a while. I've dabbled here and there in other beverages. You know, I've had my time with Coke. I have phases occasionally, but I always come home. I always come home where I belong to Miss Pepsilina. Sorry, excuse me. Yeah, I think, I mean, I think diet sodas are obviously the best version of any kind of soft drink. I don't understand how people like full fat Coke or full fat anything over like the diet version, because the non-diet versions, they just don't have the like carbonation that I require to feel refreshed, you know? Like I need it to burn so viciously when it goes down that I wince in pain and I can feel my stomach lining disintegrating. Like, that's how bad I need it. And if it's not doing that, it's not really doing anything for me. But of all the Diet Cokes, of all the Diet Colas, Pepsi Max, top tier, number one with a bullet. You cannot argue this with me. In terms of flavor and impact, she is that girl. She is that girl. She is delicious. Like, I really cannot believe Maximum Taste No Sugar does exactly what it says on the tin. Not sponsored, but please, I would do anything. It really I cannot believe there's no sugar in this. Like, the acidity, perfect. The level of sweetness, perfect. The kind of, it's like it's citrus forward. It's not just sweet, it's citrus forward. And this is my problem with Coke. Like, I'll get into that in a second, but like, I just love the flavor profile of Pepsi Max, sin azúcar, if you will, más sabor, if you will. It just hits, it slaps every time. And then they also have like fun other flavored versions that always hit as well. I used to be like a solely Pepsi Max cherry girl, and then I like came to my senses and grew up. Some of you might need to hear that and realize like that just pure cola is it. Like, the cola flavor is it. I love a cherry here and there. Love a cherry here and there. That was weird the way I said that. Love the like lemon lime flavor. That's so refreshing. Ugh. But yeah, I think they're winning in terms of you cannot get a better product. I will do Coke Zero at a push. Like, that's second to me in the cola flavors. I think Coke is like, it's very vanilla forward. It's not citrusy enough. Like, it doesn't have like the boom boom pow that I'm looking for. Coke Zero does have the acidity that I need, but it tastes a bit like diluted vanilla water, and I'm not really into that. Now what I'm going to say next will probably alienate, 1.5 of the three of you that listen. And I know it's going to offend. And I am sorry for that, but I have to speak my truth, And I just want you to know that, like, I'm still the same person I was before you knew this about me. I'm still me. I hate Diet Coke. I think Diet Coke is nasty as hell. I really do. I love the marketing. I think it's very chic. I think Diet Coke it tastes like fizzy water with the faintest hint of vanilla. There is not anything sweet about it. There's not anything really flavor profile around it. In fact, it could be sparkling water with, again, the faintest hint of vanilla. It just has no taste. Sin sabor, if you will. Yeah, I'm not into it at all. But anyway, the reason this is on my mind is I went to Costco fairly recently to get my diet sodas, as one does. And when I went onto the aisle, I noticed that the Pepsi, for the first time in a long time, maybe even ever to my recollection, was, I can't remember if it was more expensive or just equal to the Coke. Now, having said what I've said about Pepsi, she is the far superior product, but we know this is the secondary in the market. We know it doesn't hold market share. So why, pray tell, is she more expensive than the Coca-Cola? That was like the other benefit to Pepsi. Not only was it a far superior product, but it was cheaper. Hello? So, like, what is going on? I was so offended, so blinded, because let me tell you something. As I've just laid down my life for Pepsi, one thing I love more and need more is a bargain. I am cheap, and because of that, I did something disgusting. I betrayed Pepsi and I got Coke Zero. I did. Because it has 30 cans, and I'm not paying the same price or more for 24 cans than when I could get 30. I regretted it immediately, of course, because, as I said, it is an inferior product. But, we move, we learn, we live, and I was right back on the Pepsi Max. However, I did notice at this particular time that Costco have changed their fountain drink supplier. And I think this is why there's a price difference. I think this is why Pepsi was more expensive. I think they have changed loyalties. They have changed sides in the cola wars. And I'm not happy. I'm not happy at all. Okay. We used to have Pepsi Max on tap when you go get your hot dog, your slice of pizza, or if you're, a big McFatty like me, you get your whole pizza. And it was Coke at the fountain. It was Coke. Much to my chagrin, I was very displeased. Costco, if you're listening, honey, bring back the Pepsi Max. Give the people what they want. Give the people what they want. I don't want this. No. Bring it back. Okay. Obviously, I know that for some of you that will be a very strange thing that I've just lamented on, but I think if you are gay, you will understand. So, yeah. And I'm here to do nothing but serve you, of course. I was listening to a podcast a couple of weeks ago. It was, a little bit fruity. Matt Bernstein or Bernstein, I can't remember his last name. But they had an episode about Jojo Siwa, which, much to my chagrin, did humanize her to me once again. I, like many people, have got kind of tired of the antics and the whatever, the stuff that she does. But ultimately, she was a child star that was forced to work for like the vast majority of her life. And of course, someone's going to be a little fucked up after that, So I'm glad I did listen to it. However, at one point, they did mention, just in reference to kind of like how huge she was and how much merch she was selling, like how much product she was moving for these companies. At one point, they mentioned how JoJo's bobos, the little bow things that kids used to wear, were they were banned in UK schools. And while that was like a very astute point and did kind of, I guess, prove their point, I just kind of like wanted to point out to the people at that time, although of course I could not, that the UK loves to ban things in schools. Like, that is not an uncommon occurrence. We love banning shit. It's crazy how much we've banned. And to kind of prove that, I did a little research and digging to see, you know, the types of things that have been banned in schools. But I also kind of like tried to remember things from my own childhood. And so personally, and I know that some of you will remember this immediately, when Scoobies were banned, my life was over because I loved that. Oh my God, I loved that. Like, that was perfect, like perfect little sensory toy. I think if it was today, they might still continue, but I'm sure they would have banned it on the, you know, the potential health and safety risks. But Scoobies were banned, very sad. I remember in primary school there were like these like squishy balls full of water that were like, had this like, it was all like slimy material, and it had like a rope and a little hook for your finger. It was like basically like a big squishy yo-yo. They were banned, very sad. Beyblades were banned. What were Beyblades doing to anybody? Come on. Yu-Gi-Oh cards were banned. What was happening? All that was happening was in the library, nerds were playing Yu-Gi-Oh. No fights broke out. Everyone was harmonious. Sure, things got a little heated when someone pulled blue eyes, but you know, it was pretty chill. So I don't understand why they were banned. Pokemon stacks. Does anyone remember these? It came to me as I was thinking about it, but they were like little magnet versions of Pokemon cards. I remember being obsessed with them. And the game was literally just like to throw them on this magnet board. It was so fun. But they were banned. Again, why? Harmless. Ugh. In my research, there were things like black makeup. Why black makeup? Why I gotta be black? Why I gotta be black? Black makeup, Ugg boots. They should be banned anyway. Hideous. Skinny jeans. Triangle flip flaps. Let's try that again. Triangle flapjacks. Was it the flapjack that was the problem? Was the shape? Were rectangle flapjacks banned? Were square flapjacks banned? I don't understand that. This I feel like most people will remember, but like various hairstyles in the UK, and I'm sure like elsewhere in the world, have been banned. But it's important to note that the vast majority were protective hairstyles for black and brown students. Like, they just were. And I think there was, Equality and Human Rights Commission kind of gave a verdict that, you know, these bans were basically disproportionately targeting black students. And it's absolutely true. Just like banning braids and locks and things like that. For what? For what? What is it doing? What is I go so far in to argue as what is any hairstyle doing to any child that would cause such alarm in a school? There have been other hairstyles that have been banned in various schools. The McDonald's haircut, popular among today's young men. Mullets. Feels queerphobic. High top fades and skin fades, so just hair. Come on. Boys having ponytails or long hair. Again, queerphobic. Shaved hair for girls. Again, what is with this homophobia? Homophobia and racism, divas. We've got to stop it. Let people have whatever hair they want. The Peaky Blinders cut. Now, why? For what reason? Oh, it was a bit Nazi, wasn't it? I don't know. I can't remember. A bit close to home, apparently a school in Halesowen like banned regional slang, and it was under the pretense of they were trying to prepare students for job interviews, which I understand to a degree because, like, the Birmingham and Black Country specifically, accents are really looked down upon, and people do, again, as I've said before, rooted in classism. They hear it, they think stupid, in unintelligible, unreliable, that sort of thing. However, I don't think they're banning the slang. Like, banning people's own kind of like cultural ways of speaking is never a good move. So that's kind of crazy. One school banned swimming goggles because I guess they love to see children in pain. One school banned Movember mustaches because not all kids could grow them, and so it was unfair. How is it the kids that have went through puberty's problem? You know what I mean? Like, why can't they support cancer? Well, not support it, you know what I mean. One school banned best friends because that would be, too much competition for some kids to handle. Loom bands. I think those are those like tiny bands, which again, I kind of get for the health hazard. Conkers. What in the medieval are we? Who's even playing conkers anymore? How do you even play conkers? I do not know, being that I'm so young. But I really, why? And fidget spinners. I remember when they banned those, but again, for what? What is it doing? Is the noise bugging people? I don't know. I just think we do too much. I think we are doing too much. I think it is a total power trip. I really do. Okay. I recently saw the next item on, I was going to say on the news. Yes, it was on BBC account, so it was on the news. And it kind of shook me to my core, I must say, because this is unreal to me. Because I'm just going to name it. The Sylvanian Family's drama account, I can't remember what it's called. Sylvanian Dramas, I think, isn't it? Is being sued by the Sylvanian Family's company. What on planet Earth are you thinking? Anybody here, raise your hand. Raise your hand if you had even thought about Sylvanian families or owned them before you were aware of the Sylvanian Family Drama account. Yeah, silence, thank you. Because it is free marketing. It genuinely is the only reason that many people are talking about the toy brand. Why would you sue them? Because they don't fit with your brand? Have a day off. Have a day off. Oh my God, change, switch. Don't acknowledge it. Do acknowledge it. Work with them. Why would you work against them? It just reeks of jealousy to me. Absolutely reeks of it. It's just crazy. You couldn't come up with this. Your own account doesn't have the same amount of followers or engagement. You are jealous that somebody was more creative with your product. And instead of working with them, you're working against them. Typical corporates. I just remember thinking when I saw this that if somebody doing mildly kind of iffy storylines with your toys is a suable offense, then I think many of us could have been sued. Many of us should probably be in jail to what we were doing with our dolls growing up, may I just say. Mattel could probably take a lot of us for a lot of money. Because let me tell you, my dolls, my brats, my Barbies, they were in full-blown DV relationships. When I think about how I used to play with dolls, it was crazy. The only difference is all of us, we weren't filming it. That's the only difference. But people, young people, children, they play with dolls in so many ways. It's a way to learn. It's a way to have fun. And obviously this person who is running this account is not a child. And I don't think children are the intended audience. But I'm guaranteeing it got maybe a few more adults interested in your product. So let them live. Let them live. God, nobody has fun anymore. Nobody has fun. Nobody understands the power of organic marketing. Ugh, really bugs me. I hope they have a horrible day at Sylvanian HQ. In fact, I hope that one of the many storylines, Astoria? I hope that one of the many storyline, oh my god, the many storylines that Sylvanian Dramas have written happen to you. I hope they all come true. Okay. I'm going to do some show and tell in a minute. I have recently, as I think I've said already, that I'm building up my like physical film collection again because we cannot trust streaming, you guys. We cannot trust them. We cannot trust them now in the here and now because they will take things away from us willy-nilly, and we have to have every streaming package to ensure that we even have the option to see what we want to see anymore, because the way they just take things off willy-nilly, it's very frustrating. So in that regard, physical's where it is at, analog is where it is at. But also, like, in the apocalypse, guys, streaming's not going to be here. The internet's not going to be here. So when I enter the bunker, when, you know, World War III does start, when I go down into the bunker, I'm bringing my DVDs. I'm bringing the Blu-rays. I'm bringing the physical media, okay? We need to be more analog. I'm telling you, it's only going to benefit us in the future, whatever future that may be. But yeah, first, I am going to talk about Queer Ultimatum. The last time I talked about it, I'd watched 1 to 5, and then this is 5 to 10. And oh my God, how different it was from what I remember. I'm just going to get my notes up. Okay, so I think from like halfway point on, it was essentially just about Megan, Dana, and Haley and Pilar. Everyone else just faded into the background, didn't they? I will say though, I kind of get the vibe that like Kyle and Bridget and AJ and Brittany were kind of just scouted so that they could be pretty on the show and like boost their careers, which is fine. But like something about their kind of like trajectory and the way things ended up, and just like, yeah, it just felt a bit like, oh, we kind of did this to not really do this, but to be on the show so you can kind of follow us after. It just felt kind of produced in a way that wasn't real, or like nothing of consequence happened. So I don't know. And I do know that thanks to one very diligent lesbian on TikTok, love you, but that Bridget is friends with Gabby Windy, so like knows people in the industry. Yeah, so I have my suspicions about those two couples. Yeah, wow, how different. I just could not picture the things unfolding the way that they did. So for me, like, Megan was like the sweetest. It, like, I was so rooting for her and Haley, because we didn't really get to see much of Pilar, and obviously before you get to see people in their original couples again, it's kind of hard to gauge how they actually are together. But I was like really, really rooting for Haley and Megan to make it. Like, I really thought they were cute together. Little did I know that Megan was actually the villain of the season. That was crazy. I did not really see that coming at all. But I do think kind of up until at the point of the changeover, when people went back into their original couples, like, I was still living in the land of delusion that Meg was like gonna be doing the right thing. And, you know, I may have been blinded a little bit because I do actually like, I think Meg is attractive. Not usually like my type, kind of energy wise, but yeah, I thought she got me. She got me, gal. She's so sweet. She just seems so sweet. And I feel bamboozled by the fact that she is actually kind of not so sweet. But yeah, so that dinner where they all switched back got crazy. It got crazy. Like, I want to kind of go through it beat by beat. And of course, I'm only really talking about kind of Mel, Dana, and Meg and Haley. But it did get crazy. I really still struggle to see how Dana kind of figures that her behavior didn't influence Meg's behavior and Meg wasn't there for her when it kind of was. And it seems by all accounts triggered by how she was acting with Mel first. Like, again, Dana kind of week one saw Meg at the pool. Meg just tried to say hi. Nothing. Naturally, Meg only has Haley to turn to. They develop a deeper connection. It obviously goes further than maybe either of them now would have liked, but that's kind of what happens when you're in those situations and your original partner has just kind of treated you in a certain way. But I think seeing this, Dana started to freak out, started to try and get kind of Meg back on board, and Meg was not having it. She was standing up for herself for the first time. I just think that like Meg is clearly a better person when she's not with Dana, because Dana is like the devil, obviously. But I think once she kind of gets in her vicinity, like it's like she becomes all encompassed by her, and it just like the person she was with Haley. Oh, that was a great person. Be that person. Be her. But yeah, Dana is like so hell bent on being like, you weren't there for me. You weren't there for me. But uses an example before they'd even coupled up of when Meg came to her and was like trying to beg them to not do this. Like she didn't want them to be in this experiment, and Dana forced her to she made her stay. She was like, no, we have to do this. We have to see it through. And that was Dana's one example when she kept talking about how she's always been there for Meg, of the time she was there for Meg, which Meg rightly points out kind of didn't count at all. Because by the time they're in the couples, when Meg actually needed her, where was Dana? And then Dana acting like and looking around for support when she said this, while everyone just turned away and looked at the ceiling, acting like the have a nice flight plane situation was insane. She acted like Meg saying have a nice flight when she threatened to leave was her saying, I hope your plane explodes and your family somehow dies in the impact. Like, I don't understand how that was like such a terrible thing for her to say. She just wasn't falling for the manipulation like she usually did. And so Dana kept clearly like amping it up. And it wasn't working for the first time, and it freaked her out. She is a different person when she's with Dana. Like, you see her just revert into this weird pattern where she thinks she's like in control and standing up for herself, but she's clearly not. And she kind of got that independence and she got that control back when she was separated from her. And I think Dana knew that. And that's why she kind of like called her and started trying to manipulate her, being like, I'm going home, all of this. A couple things from that kind of recoupling dinner. The way Dana and Mel just insist that they did nothing but kiss. Even at the reunion, I'm like, come on. This is the thing. I understand that Meg and Haley did stuff too, but they admitted it quite freely. And I understand how, I think people think they were being like a bit like finger waggy and how dare you about it, knowing that they had also done stuff. But like, it's more about the way that they were honest about it compared to the way that Dana and Mel were being about it, which was very secretive and still to this day kind of secretive. I mean, there's literally like, we all heard the audio, but the footage of Dana like just going into the bedroom, like it, you cannot deny it. And it was crazy that they even tried. It's crazy that Dina and Mel got tattoos. They're just so like, they are the scariest people on the planet to me. Everything about them is very like Like they could get caught into the twin flames cult like that. Like those are the kind of scary, intense people that you have to watch out for. Like it's too much. It's like love bomby, it's manipulative, it's very weird. But yeah, I just really could not believe how much of a switch up happened when Meg got back with Dana, because at first it was very like, I was like, go on, Meg. Like she was really holding her ground. She was really steadfast. And then it just switched so quick in the blink of an eye. And I was like, all that progress gone. But yeah, the whole sex playlist thing, I found that really cringe. Well, I do completely see it. I think that evidence was also pretty damning. I do, but I do think it was like it was way too serious and intense for what it was. But yeah, when they kind of got back into their original couples, watching like Dana and Meg compared to Haley and Pilar, two completely different experiences. Like the way Haley and Pilar handled that was insane. Like masterclass in like communication, in empathy. I just couldn't believe it. I was so I kind of wanted to like slow clap. It was so good. And it was so heartbreaking because it was like everyone was just being completely honest. Haley was being completely honest, you know, about how she felt about Meg, about how she felt about the situation. Pilar like kind of understood the part she played in this. And again, Pilar's situation, it's not an easy one at all. And you can understand why she's been so kind of reserved and stunted in that relationship. It's just kind of crazy that it kind of took this to kind of move things forward. But no, I'm not one to judge. Do what you need to do. But yeah, the way they handled it was great. I thought Meg was going into this really well. Like she was really strong, really kicking back, really fighting back and not kind of backing down. But then kind of just completely buckled and was under Dana's thumb once again really easily, kind of denied all the feelings. And yeah, it was not good. And just did exactly what Dana did to her, to Haley. But what I will say is, I think Meg was correct in that if we kept trying, if we kept contact, if they kept contact, it would have been harder for them to kind of invest in their original relationships in that particular trial marriage. So I do think Meg was correct in that. And for that reason, I think she was right. But to deny the stuff she was feeling or felt, I think that's kind of. And I'm not saying, do you know what? Maybe she wasn't denying it. Maybe she just got a bit carried away and this is how she felt. But again, I think it's kind of good to just honestly be like, boop, this is how it is, nip it in the bud. I don't completely demonize Meg in this because ultimately I think it was the right decision for Haley because once I saw Haley and Pilar together, like I got it. I really got it for them. I think it was, like I said, I think it was actually really beneficial for them. I think Pilar finally got that clarity that she needed. I think that was the only thing that Haley really needed to kind of see like the relationship going somewhere. So yeah, I think it really did work out for the best for them and I'm glad they're together because I actually do think they're really good together. And oh my, hearing more of their story, love them. So happy for them. I wish nothing but the worst for Dana and Meg though. I just don't think they're meant to be together. I just think Dana is bad news. Yes, the reunion, we saw a much more reserved version of her, but I do ultimately feel that it will end in ruin and that neither of them will be truly happy and free. But it seems like Meg got, you know, something out of this. She seems more assertive. Her family are becoming more accepting, and that's really good. That is always, there's always a positive, isn't there? Yeah. I just could not believe that. Mel is just something else. Mel did not want to be with Marie. However, I completely understand why. And that's saying something. Marie is nuts. She really is. She's way too intense. She was weird throughout the whole experiment. And then she was really aggy and weird at the reunion too. Like it was everyone's problem. But yeah, I completely get why Mel wouldn't want to be with her. But Mel also, like, just make up your mind, stand your ground, stop being so weird and intense. You know, like just maybe think things through and be true to yourself a bit more. I don't know. What do I know? I'm not exact. So okay, I want to do a little bit of show and tell now. I have a selection of some of the films and a few other bits that I have got from charity shops recently. By the way, have become obsessed with charity shopping. Like obsessed. The thrill of getting a find. Basically heroin. Basically heroin, honestly. Except from it's like movies from 17 years ago. I have not had luck with clothes. I keep seeing people on TikTok like finding amazing pieces. That was very pretentious, but you know, amazing stuff in there. I do think the charity shops are a wee bit fat phobic. I don't know if like it's just because like only skinny grandmas and grandpas are passing, because that's a lot of the stuff that ends up in there, isn't it? Let's be real. Or only the maybe, you know, the big girls are hoarding their artifacts. I don't know, but I'm also part of the problem. I'm not giving any of my stuff away to charity shops. That will change. I'm going to be the solution I want to see. I'm going to stare at the man in the mirror. I'm going to do it. Okay, yeah, let me show you some stuff. So I've been going to charity shops, like I said. I've also been going to CEX, and just getting films that I like already know and love, but also using it as an opportunity to buy films that I've wanted to see. Like they've been on the list for a long time, but I just haven't watched them. And so like, hopefully this will force me to watch them, sort of thing. Now, I haven't watched many of those on that list, but when I do, I think I'm going to bring them up here, so I can keep myself accountable and moving along on this, you know, this journey of cinema. I feel I've moved slightly closer to, I was about to say the sun, but my light, and I can already feel the sweat piling on my face. So that is gorgeous. Okie dokie. Let me just get, and I just want to say this is basically a way shorter pile than I was going to bring. So please just let me have fun. Okay, this is fun, and just be excited about everything that I show you. It could have been way longer. So just be grateful that it is what it is. This is my edited version, and I'll do more later. But this is what we have for now. Oh god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay. Oh. Jesus, that's hot. It's hot. Okay. Oh my god. Why did I decide to put these on the floor? Somebody please. Oh, sweat. Oh my god, it's so hot. I can't reach. Oh my god. The struggle. Embarrassing. Okay. Okay, we are back. We're in business. Let's try and do this fairly quickly before my camera dies and I have to stop recording. Okay, so first up, we have The Road to El Dorado. El Dorado, I should say. Amazing animated movie. I was very partial, like I loved Disney as a kid, but I was really partial to a DreamWorks. I'm coming to realize this is a fantastic animated film. I think it has soundtrack by Elton John, which I didn't clock as a kid, but all I'm going to say is this movie had a lot of things that I like. Indigenous culture, taught me about the Mayans without even knowing what the Mayans were, and I'm pretty sure it made me gay. If you know, you know. Chell was a baddie. And honestly, Julio could get it. Was it Tulio? Tulio could get it too. He was cute. But Chell was a baddie and voiced by Rosie Perez too. So yeah, this is one of the many reasons I am who I am today. On the DreamWorks stuff, we also have Shrek 2. Shrekky 2. The best Shrek, obviously. And if you disagree, you are wrong. But look how cute this is. It's like a little pop-up. It's so cute. It's like a little storybook. I'm obsessed. See, this is the thing. Blu-rays are great. They obviously have a superior picture quality and sound quality, but the whimsy of a DVD, you guys, like you don't get fun and creativity like this in a Blu-ray, and you certainly don't get fun disc menus. Like, do you remember disc menus back in the day and how they were all personalized? Now, if you pop in a Blu-ray, it's just the Blu-ray disc menu. No fun, no creativity, boring. So I am partial to a DVD for that reason. Oh, Inglorious Bastards, one of my favorite movies of all time. Certainly my favorite Tarantino movie. What is the name? Obviously, Christoph Waltz, absolutely amazing. Ooh, that's a bingo. Like I love doing his voice from this. Obviously heinous character, but very good, very, very lovable at the same time as being very despisable. Melanie Lauren, she is so stunning in this. Every time I see her smoke, I want to pick up a pack of cigs. I've never smoked a day in my life, and she makes smoking look so good. So amazing. Thank you. The scene, the German 3 scene, absolute cinema. Oh, speaking of absolute cinema, Bring It On, an absolute classic. An absolute classic. First of all, just look at this perfect, gorgeous 2000s like movie case. That is just, that is perfection to me. I'm going to resist the urge to do the opening cheer, but we all know it and we all know we want to do it together. But what I will say is that I transferred from Los Angeles. Your school has no or maybe I won't. Or maybe I won't. 40 Days and 40 Nights. If you haven't seen this, it's so good. It's such an underrated rom-com. Josh Hartnett is so beautiful. His little like tooth gap, gorgeous. And the lead girl in this, what is her name? Shannon Sussman. She is stunning. I cannot show you a picture, but she is absolutely stunning. This is such a cute concept. It's really sweet. Well, you know, sweet in an early 2000s way, but I really do think it's one of the best rom-coms, and I don't think many people I know have ever heard of it, so please do watch if you get a chance, and that's your sort of thing. Oh my god. Oh, I keep knocking the mic. This is no good. District 9. I have watched this one time in my entire life. Like, I do this thing where honestly some of my biggest emotions and biggest kind of emotional reactions I've ever had in my life is literally just due to a film. It's due to cinema. And I remember watching this for the first time in like my first girlfriend's parents' house, and the effect it had on me was so severe. I couldn't breathe. Like, I was so distraught. I was upset for days. And because of that, when I have those big extreme emotional reactions, like I can't watch something again. And it doesn't always make sense, the things that are responsible for those reactions. Like, I'm going to talk about a really embarrassing one in a minute, but once I have that reaction, it's like I cannot watch the movie again. Like A Star Is Born, I watched that one time. And look, it's a great movie, but you know, it's not exactly, you know, yeah, I'm not going to say no. I personally think it's fantastic, but I'm recognizing that it's not one of our like greatest works, but it was so incredibly moving to me that I was so depressed after it. I cannot bring myself to watch it again. But yeah, this is one of those. I really do eventually want to watch it, but it is such like a unique concept and it is so heartbreaking. Yeah, you have to see this if you haven't seen it. I believe it's kind of, you know, mirroring the apartheid of South Africa, so obviously it's quite, you know, heartbreaking. Speaking of another heartbreaker, so this is just fun. I got a triple disc Step Up to the Streets and Honey. Now, I'm sorry, if you have ever seen Honey, you know when you used to watch stuff as a kid and people were dancing, you'd be like, oh my God, they're so good. And then you watch it back and you're like, what were they? How were they having a seizure? And I thought this was like dance. And I love Jessica Alba and I love this movie. I think it's so funny though for all the wrong reasons. The way she says the center, you should come down to the center. It's so funny. Like you don't belong there, girl. But yeah, Step Up 2 is one of those movies that fucked me up as a kid. Like I don't know why either. Like I can't explain it, but I think it was something about like the emotion of dance. Like I just thought that people were so good in it. And I think I was just like, I will never be like them. And so I was like distraught and just couldn't bring myself to watch it again. I've since watched it many times. I got over it pretty quick, but how fun is this? This is just such a moment in time. Had to sweep that up. What have I got? Speaking of just like heart-wrenching. Oh, The Lovely Bones. This is, I mean, it's nut. Like the story is nuts. This is like, I think the first thing, like I think the first thing I saw Saoirse Ronan in was Atonement, but she was a very young actor and I was so focused on her being an absolute see you next Tuesday. Speaking of Atonement, that's another one that really gets me. But that I basically wasn't really paying attention to her. This is the first time that I like saw her and thought, wow, like she is going places. She has got something special. Completely heartbreaking story. Like so intense. You are so angry, but there's such a catharsis that comes along with it. Stanley Tucci, you see Stanley Tucci in this in a way that you've never seen him before. Like he's truly terrifying. I cannot recommend this enough. Oh, so I have a love-hate relationship with horror. Like I've recently become better with it, but I used to be such a pee hole when it came to horror. But one genre I always loved was like found footage. Nobody kill me. I have never seen the Blair Witch Project, and I know people say that's like the found footage movie. But if I find a physical copy, I'm gonna watch it. But yeah, this was I really think is one of the best, if not the best, found footage horror films. Cloverfield is so good. It's such a great pacing. Like it's so exciting. It's got a few jump scares in there. It's not terrifying. It's just like it's one of those ones that's like it keeps you on your toes. It really does keep you on toes. It's got Lizzie Kaplan, is it? Janice Ian, from Mean Girls. She's like one of the main roles in it. She's really good. But yeah, this is so fun. I love watching this. I also remember watching this one time at, I can't remember who it was, but I was quite young, maybe a friend's, and I was with, I think, why does this matter? Why did this level of detail matter? But it was like my friend, her brother, and her parents had gone out, and I think I was having a sleepover or something. And we heard, like, we were watching this, and we heard, like, a noise from upstairs. We freaked out so much that we escaped through the living room window and walked, like, halfway down the street so we could see if anybody was up there, but also be at a safe distance in case there was a murderer there. Everyone left their phones inside. We couldn't call for help. We thought we were about to be murdered. We eventually went back inside, and the wind had just knocked over a vase, so that was really fun. But definitely watch this. I think no, it's not. The last thing I have, it isn't a DVD, it is in fact a Blu-ray, but it is from the Criterion Collection, and it's very new. It's not, an old find or anything, but it was an absolute steal. So this retails for 40 British pounds, and I got it in, may I say, near mint condition for £20. It is Honora, the Criterion Collection version. Now, do I have an insane surround sound system? No, I do not. Do I even have a sound bar? No, I do not. Do I have an amazing TV that will give me the highest picture quality? No, I do not. So is this ultimately worthless in that regard? Yeah, because I will not be able to enjoy the highest specs that it comes with. However, Honora is one of the best films to come out in recent kind of history. Not to be dramatic or anything. It is so good. I think if you know me, you know how obsessed I am with this film. I don't even have words to describe it. Mikey Madison is so talented. This is just one of those ones that sticks with you. That last scene, after everything that's taken place, you just kind of realize that, yeah, no, this is actually really serious and ain't shit funny. It just, the way it completely sobers you up after this kind of like rip-roaring experience the silence in that theater was crazy. Pin drop. It was so good. But yeah, so I got the Criterion Collection version. Great materials with it. I cannot wait to watch with director's commentary, all the extra commentary that it comes with. Oh, I'm just going to be so pretentious and watch this over and over again. Can't wait. Now on to ones that I actually have watched. So I got this Die Hard 1 and 2 set like before Christmas. And I watched Die Hard for the first time, I know, at Christmas. It was fine. I'm sure it was much more exciting at the time. I just think I don't know. Like, I do like action movies. It's not that I don't, but I just wasn't exactly thrilled by this. And maybe it is because, too much time has passed and it doesn't necessarily... I'm not going to say it doesn't stand the test of time, but it just isn't as impressive as maybe it once was. But he's nice. Bruce is lovely. God bless. The second one I've watched is The Life Aquatic. So I'm a massive Wes Anderson fan. I just had a feeling though. I put this off for years because I had a feeling I wasn't going to like it. And unfortunately that feeling was right. It did come true. Like, it was fine, but it wasn't... I didn't really find the lead redeeming in any way. I didn't feel like the characters meshed as well as they usually do. I didn't feel like the individual kind of like arcs kind of met up in the way that they usually do. I do think for standouts, I do think Cate Blanchett was really good. I thought that William Dafoe's character was quite funny. Obviously, I thought Owen Wilson was really good as well. I thought, again, just his story arc was nice. But yeah, overall, I just wasn't really impressed by it. However, this is another reason I'm obsessed with getting DVDs, just because I am like nostalgic for nostalgic's sake. I found like inside the sleeve, I found God, everything is flipping everywhere. I found the original receipt from when it was purchased, which for me is just like the equivalent of a beachcomber finding like a gold chain. Like, oh, it's so good. But it was originally purchased on, because I'm sure you all care so much, the 10th of July 2005. And it was actually a exchange. So someone, I don't know, I've tried to find what this movie is, but someone returned a DVD with a movie with the name Heroic somewhere in the title. And the only kind of indication as to who was acting in it or directing it is someone with the last name Chang. I know this because the code for this film is literally Murray Life A. So it doesn't give me much information. I would love to know what that original DVD was that he swapped this for. But yeah, on the 10th of the 7th, 2005 is when this was purchased. And I bought it on the 5th of the 7th and watched it on the 6th of the 7th. So almost 10 years to the day that this was purchased, I watched this, which I don't know why. It's just so fun to me, but it is. I'm like, what serendipity? Also, look at this fun insert. I hope no one claimed it. We get to have a 2-for-1 on scuba diving lessons from the PADI. What does that stand for? I don't know. But yeah, scuba diving lessons. So if anyone's interested, I love the inserts that come with it. There's like, I've had some that are like mail in orders. Like you just see the selection, the menu selection of DVDs, fill out a physical form, and you're supposed to send it off, and then they'll send you the DVDs that you want. So funny. What a world we used to live in. And that was what was considered convenient at one time. Like that was a convenient method of purchasing a film. That's wild. Oh, how times have changed. I also, oh my God, I cannot wait to start filming. It's so hot. I know I said I wouldn't mention it again, but I'm dying. I also have been looking through the vinyl sections at charity shops. And while I haven't had much success in the album department, boy, oh boy, have I had success in the singles. Now, I am missing one of them. I'm definitely missing somebody. Oh my God, looking for that last vinyl is just like, it's truly knocked the wind out of me. It's over. I've got such a Sula, sweat upper lip alert for all of those uninformed. So this will literally be the last thing I do and say on today's episode. But like I said, I've had some success, more success with the singles than I have with like actual albums. But let's just have a look. I got Madonna, True Blue, and Holiday. So True Blue was A-side, Holiday was B-side. This was from like 86. Gorgeous little cover there. Oh, so stunning. But this is the vinyl inside for all those that give a crap. I got the classic I Will Always Love You by Whitney Houston. So that's the A side. The B side is Jesus Loves Me. So I will always love you, but Jesus loves me. So that's fun. That's fun. Also very demure on the cover. The girls were really giving glamour back in the day. Like it was really, really giving glamour. That's so fun. I got Mariah Carey Hero. This is beautiful. Again, it's just a shot from that live performance that she did. And the B-side is literally just Hero Live. So not much variety there, but this was the most expensive I found. I got this in an Oxfam and it was $2.99, but I saw Mariah and I had to. This is possibly the most fun though, I have to say. It was completely unexpected. But, oh my God, sorry. But I found Vanessa Williams' Save the Best for Last. Look at this cover, you guys. She just looks so... I am knocking this mic back and forth. I'm so sorry. She just looks so stunning. Like, she's got blue eyeshadow on. I think blue contacts in. I don't believe that is her natural eye colour. Her hair is just perfection. Oh, the dress, the dangle ball earring. But Save the Best for Last by Vanessa Williams. And the B-side is Two of a Kind. Wilhelmina Slater. Always slaying. Oh, okay. That absolutely is it for this episode of Bits and Bobs. I feel like the audio for this episode is going to be a mess, by the way. I've just ragged this table and mic around. But thank you so much for joining. Thanks for sticking with me. Sorry for being a sweaty mess, but it is what it is. Do you know what I mean? It is what it is. And I will see you on the next episode. Ta-ta for now. I'm dying. It has to stop.